Hello everyone! Welcome to Asian Network of A-Square Activists Annual Symposium 2021. I will be presenting Asexuality in the Philippines on behalf of Asexual Support Philippines. My name is Ria Faustino and I am an asexual from the Philippines. My pronouns are she/her and I am a romantic asexual. I've known that I was in the A spectrum since I was in high school, but it took me until 5 years ago to realize that I was a romantic asexual specifically. I got into a romantic relationship in college, and it made me question what my romantic and sexual orientation really was. I did some research, and I realized my identity a year after that relationship. Speaking as ambassador for the Asian Network of A-Square Activists, I was excited to become a part of an organization for asexual activists from different Asian countries. I am proud to be a representative of the Philippines and to share my experience as a Filipino to other Asians and allies, as well as to hear about the experiences of other Asian asexuals. Today, these are the topics that I will be talking about in regards to the Philippine situation for asexual people: medical knowledge, relationships, education and public awareness, religion, and politics. Besides doing research for this presentation, we also conducted a survey. It provides an analytics that is in a decision to support asexuality in the Philippines. These 4 questions helped us to answer the 5 points raised in this presentation. What is it all about? Why did it happen? What happens next? And what to do? For the survey, we managed to gather 31 respondents to answer. The size is enough to generalize the Asexual Support Philippines, but not that of the entire Philippine population. It only goes to show how we have to push for more asexual representation in the country. A majority of respondents are asexual, but there are those who identify as other orientations in the spectrum. Besides this, we also come from a diverse set of romantic attractions. The graph tells us one thing: there are more young people who are open to the concept of asexuality. That aligns with the wider populace. In this part, we discuss the gap between what medical professionals know versus what the public knows about asexuality. We managed to get 4 people to share what their experience was like coming out as asexual to their medical professionals. From these 4, 3 of them said that psychiatrists see it as a valid orientation and non-experience to it isn't a basis to be allosexual. We also tried to research about what the medical community says about asexuality in the Philippines. So far, the Philippine Psychological Association said their piece last 2020. They're the highest body who regulates the profession of psychologists here in the country. For this body, human rights covers the science of LGBT rights. That includes asexuality as a normal orientation that doesn't need any therapeutic interventions to overcome. There's been no explicit mention of the term asexuality in the position paper, although it's well understood that they are included. It's hard to come up with the research studies that narrows down to asexuality. From what we see here, there's more to unpack when it comes to asexuality in medicine and strictly to the Filipinos. In this next part, we have gathered information about asexuals looking for or not looking for devoted relationships. From a total of 31 respondents, 9 stated that they are looking for a devoted relationship with someone or are in one. 6 stated that they are not looking, while 17 are unsure if they want a relationship. Most of them are looking for a queer platonic relationship. Forming a family from a marriage between a man and a woman is the norm in the Philippines. Besides this, the word relationship itself is implied to mean a romantic relationship for the majority. This is what we call amatonormative. The way of relationships in the Philippines comes from the lens of a man. The guy steps in and asks for approval from the family to court and marry a woman and start a family with her. In short, patriarchy and amatonormativity exist in the country. According to one of our respondents, sometimes I feel pressured to find a partner because all my siblings have one. My friends either have one or are looking for one. My siblings don't know I'm ace while my friends know. Sometimes I feel like I have to be like them. Or I have to be looking for a partner like everyone else. But I don't really act on that pressure. Except for this one time I agreed to a relationship with a guy before I found out I was ace. I'm contented with just having friends. In this next part, we asked the respondents if they believe that there's compulsory sexuality in our local media and arts. A majority of respondents said yes, 24 saying that there is compulsory sexuality, and many of those saying that local media tends to be heteronormative. There are also 4 that say that there is no compulsory sexuality, 2 that say that they aren't sure, and 1 that partially agrees. As stated by one of our respondents, yes, most local media pertaining to the romance genre is populated with cishet couples. That is, cisgender and heterosexual couples. The constant exposure to this type of relationship can make it seem as if that is the default, that being cishet is the norm and anything outside is not. This harms many youths into believing that they are wrong for being who they are and being pressured to be with people that they don't necessarily like, and living a life they will never find satisfaction or gratification in. Next, I will be talking about what it's like to find out about asexuality in our public spheres. A majority of asexuals in the Philippines find out about asexuality through online sources, like Tumblr, Google, YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, and Facebook. We also have local news articles related to asexuality. They're published by Scout, CNN Philippines, GMA News Online, Rappler, and Philstar. We also have a short film that was featured in AVEN, or Asexuality Visibility and Education Network. Balangingi, or Nosebleed, is a Kampangan short film by Jason Paul Laksamana, or Sisigman on YouTube. There are also asexuals that found out about asexuality through social circles, like their friends, classmates, and in their school setting. A quote from one of our respondents goes, "We barely have any media representation, and even some LGBTQIA+ organizations rarely talk about the A spectrum. A critical lack of research is also evident that there is not enough A-spectrum awareness here. To sum it up, we have much more to do to represent the marginalized sectors of the Philippines when it comes to asexuality, may it be in the four walls of a classroom or in the streets." Next, I will be talking about the religious perspectives on asexuality in our country. This chart shows the different religions of people in the Philippines. 4% are Muslim, 81% are Christians, 9% are Protestants, and 1% come from other religions. Of all religious points, the pre-colonial period gave insights on how the Filipinos of the past embraced fluid gender roles. In fact, a babaylan is an important person in a barangay, or a community, so to speak. Babaylan are Filipino shamans, and many believe that they are the first documented asexuals during the pre-colonial period. From the eyes of the Spanish colonizers, they were celibates, but the babaylans, which comes in different names across the country, are the connection from the world to the spirits of nature. You may learn more about it by reading William Henry Scott's Looking for Pre-Hispanic Filipino and other essays in Philippine history. That's how empowered asexuality was in the past. However, as time goes by, asexuality became an invisible orientation in the modern religions in our country. Most religious sects highlight the man as a high vicar, where a man subdues, woman subdues. As such, asexuality became an effeminate trait that goes below an assertive man in terms of culture. This is echoed in Taoism in Philippine mythology, where it states, our ancestor, the babaylan, in the record was described as mute, effeminate, identifies more woman than a man in their manner of living and occupation, and dance like a woman, never as a man whose dances was different. Next, we talk about the political spheres of asexuality, from bureaucratic to grassroots activist initiatives. In our country, we have the SOGI Bill, or House Bill number 4982, also known as an act prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity or expression, SOGI, and providing penalties therefor. We have been trying to make the SOGI Bill into law. This is the timeline of the SOGI Bill. It was in 2000 that the SOGI Equality Bill was proposed by the Congress, but it was never passed into law. By 2017, House Bill 4982 was approved on third and final reading in the House of Representatives and then transmitted to the Senate for their own deliberations. By May 2019, it became the longest-running bill under the Senate interpellation period in the Philippines. But then in 2020, elections for the Senate took place and the process started all over again. It was in December 2020 that the proposed law was reintroduced in the 18th Congress and after it was turned down in previous sessions. Besides the SOGI bill, we also have anti-discrimination ordinances which are on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity and expression. They are there for the protection of lesbians, gays, bisexuals, transgenders, intersex people, and queers. These ordinances are enacted in local cities, like in Quezon City, where they have the Gender Fair Ordinance, Gender Development Code, and Pride Council. There's also in Mandaluyong City the Ordinance 698 6-2018, and in Manila, we have the Ordinance number 8695 or the Manila LGBTQI Protection Ordinance of 2020. In addition to this, the use of social media helped to further decentralize the fight to grassroots activism. We have local asexual communities in Facebook like Asexual Philippines and Asexual Support Philippines. Asexual Support Philippines is not only a Facebook page that shares articles and events, it is also an active community that hosts multiple activities for its members. Such activities include a roundtable discussion, watch parties of LGBTQIA+ stories, a book club for asexual books, and trivia games about asexuality. It has allowed asexual people to connect with others like them and to learn more about each other and themselves. It has even allowed the study to be conducted within the members of the group, and other Filipino asexuals. This study, titled The Filipino Asexuality, Perceiving Intersectionality and the People of Color Self-Identification and Sexual Orientation, looks into the ways asexuality interacts with the Filipinos' personal experiences with identity and society. This study has a section that proves the importance of such communities as Asexual Support Philippines. The quote goes as follows: Asexual Support Group Philippines can be seen as a form of online asexual organizing. Online asexual organizing is a form of activism operating to construct visibility, identity, community, and resistances amid compulsory sexuality. To end this presentation, we would like everyone to join our cause. We go beyond asexuality as we join with the wider sectors of society. As asexuals, it is our identity. And with that, we support not only the liberation of the Filipino people from its oppressions, but also to the wider social crisis everyone experiences. We are proud Filipino. We are proud asexuals. Thank you for joining me in this presentation.